But now, for your year-end presentation, please give a warm welcome to our Superintendent of Savannah-Chatham County Public Schools, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Ann Levett.
All right, thank you. So good morning again. And I think I'm going to try it with maybe, just let me know how it sounds.
You use your teacher voice?
Yeah, will that work? Is that good? Okay, good. So before we start, good morning to everyone. I'm happy to see you. You look relaxed. Probably not as relaxed as you'll look in a couple of weeks, but you look relaxed. So before we start, here are some instructions. We will be talking today about, all the great things that have happened this year. And so whenever your school name comes up or someone associated with your school, I will need you to stand. Got it? What does that mean? You have to pay what? Attention. Okay. All right. We could not put everything in this presentation, but what I want you to do is to recognize that we do great work and we don't always understand the power of all of that until we actually look at some summary document. So today what we try to do is capture some highlights. I did pass along in the last beacon an unfinished list of accomplishments by department. And of course, since that time, it's probably almost twice as long, but I want today to just highlight a few things. So that's your instruction. So if you're eating, fine. Don't have anything in your lap, because we're going to trust that every time your school or a student or a staff member is listed or shown, that you'll have an opportunity to stand up. Got it? All right, so, and it's also, I think I like this piece better where we kind of do it inside. So let's see. We did it. We did it. You did it. So give yourselves a big round of applause again. I will tell you, everywhere I go, people say, well, how is it? I'm like, honey, it's wonderful. It's great. They're like, why is it? Have you started some? I'm like, the children are at home. That's right. That, all 38,000 of them. And we kind of enjoy that. So I think it is important for us to celebrate and just to think about how well things went this year. We had a lot of challenges, but we also had so many triumphs and so many victories. So I think it's important for us to celebrate. We can tell you that we had more than 2,100 young people cross that stage, and we are excited that we were able to do that. And I think because we know that graduation is a pre-K to 12 process, we all deserve a big round of applause. That's right. Who stood up? Okay. Yay, Derek! Yay! All right. Yay! All right. And I wasn't paying attention. Okay. All right. So very good. We are so excited. 2,100 graduates. That's a lot of young people. And for those of us who are at every graduation, we can tell you that that's a lot of young people, a lot of hand sanitizer, lots of tears. Tears of joy. It's a week of happiness for graduates, and I want to thank everybody who was there to join us in celebrating them. More than $43 million in scholarships. 43. High school people, everybody, really, Woo! Woo! Woo, 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 woo! All right, so. And that number is continuing to grow. So we're excited because young people actually have to apply for them. And that means they have to do some work with their families. We also had an effort this year to get families to complete the FAFSA process. Really done very well, continuing to work on that. But clearly, this is a testimony to that pre-K through 12 work. Then, of course, I know that you saw the ad that we put in the Savannah Morning News. It will show up again on this week.
When's the next run? 19th?
The 19th?
I think so. Be watching the paper. There's another.
Be watching for the paper. One of the things we want to do is help people understand that our children do go to college. And one thing that helped us build this list, which is, this isn't the complete list, but it definitely showed the number of colleges and variety of colleges and universities that our students attend, as well as the branches of the armed forces. We think that's important for you. It's important for our community to know that our young people are indeed not just going, they have presented letters of acceptance indicating that they are able to attend these universities, and that's a big deal. So for those who don't remember, 38,000, that's the average. In the course of a year, we could serve up to 41,000 plus young people, our 55 schools, and growing 5,800 employees. So you hear me talk a lot about our little community of about 44,000. When you think about the number of subs, the number of permanent employees, the number of part-timers, we're well over that number. We are the 10th largest school district in Georgia, covering 426 square miles. That's information that you should know. I want you to always know that information so that you can be a good ambassador for us. 10th largest school district. Basically, we're it on this end. Everything else is basically in the metro area. In our work, every day, we are shaping minds and we are changing lives. You heard some of the young people talk about that, but you know what's really inspiring is when you see them in the community and they talk about the experiences they have because of us. You heard Dr. Zoller, who's worked with us for more than 21 years with the medical preceptorship, and every year he's astonished by the number of young people who actually are interested in going into medicine and fulfill that dream. And part of what we do is provide that experience for them right here in Savannah-Chatham County Public Schools. So our school year is filled with many, many accomplishments, and today we'll have an opportunity to talk about them. So we started with Sylvia out there with the tornado. Woo! Sylvia and Heather, I tell you. Yes. And then I tell you, Sylvia, we prayed for you. But what really made it work was the fact that everybody came to the rescue. Everybody. See, it wasn't just Jim, it was also Allison, it was also Carrie, it was everybody. Everybody. We all ran over, lots of people there that day when it happened, so that we could offer assistance, but we couldn't have done it without that maintenance and operations team. Let's give them a big round. They gotta stand up. You gotta stand up. You gotta stand up. Oh, listen. Woo! And then, of course, you got campus police over here, making it all good. You gotta stand up, sir. Campus police, all right. I'm so happy that Deputy Chief Graves can hear. But the bottom line is, it's one team. It's one team. We started out the school year with a tornado, but it did not deter us because people came from wherever they needed to in order to render assistance. And that's when you know you are indeed operating as a team and as a family. And then, of course, after we got them kind of up and going, we started on our journey of the year. And we every day have that one goal, to serve those 38,000 young people. And of course, this year we have lots of reasons to celebrate, and we'll talk about those.
And I am so excited to let you know that we had 878 students to complete a dual enrollment class this year. That's 878 students who completed a combined 3,804 dual enrollment classes. Now, you do know that that's a cost savings of over $1 million for our parents.
13 of our seniors were recognized by Georgia Department of Education as Georgia Scholars. That's 6 from Jenkins. Where's Heather? Okay. 1 from Islands, 5 from Savannah Arts, and 1 from Windsor Forest High. Let's give them a big round. The School of Humanities at Juliet Gordon Low Elementary students were recognized at Capitol Arts. So their artwork is on exhibit in Atlanta at the Capitol. Jenkins High won the Jenkins High Naval JRTC won the Superintendent's Cup after being over at Beach for 3 years. That was tough too, I tell you. They weren't playing with that. 7 of our Garrison Theater students were selected as 2018 National Thespian Scholars. Georgetown K-8 is the home of the 2018-2019 Young Georgia Authors Writing Competition winner. Myers Middle School FBLA recognition. All right. Ellis Montessori, their students won the 1st and 2nd place of the 100 Black Men's Contest. Isle of Hope, home of the Fiddler Knots, was the 1st place Georgia STEM Education Award recipient. And then, of course, STEM Academy, Savannah Early College, and Savannah Arts had 5-star climate ratings. All right, very good. All right, get ready. Garden City, Hurd, Hodge, May Howard, Jacob G. Smith, Pooler, Schumann, Coastal Middle School, Groves High School, Johnson High School, New Hampstead High School, and Woodville had 4 stars. Woo! All right, Hubert Middle School got that middle school coding grant. We were really working on that. Where's Hubert Middle School? And then, of course, OCCR. They are the group that heads up that medical preceptorship we've been doing for 21 years. And then we have some national beta schools, Butler, Gadsden, Southwest Middle, and Groves. I'm gonna throw in too, those Butler Bears are learning yoga. They saw some good pictures of them yesterday. Johnson High School IB conducted the interviews for the veterans, the Vietnam vets that was placed in the DC National Archives. A.B. Williams, 5th grade student, won the 1st place prize in the Judicial Council of Georgia poster contest. That was a mouthful just right there.
No, I gotta say, there's a lot more, but we ran out of space.
Exactly. But we will publish that long list, and I want you to really to go through there and just identify the great number of things that we received recognition for this year. This is the first year we actually had the signing day for the education students, and that happened at Windsor Forest High School. And we cannot forget that Coastal Middle School was redesignated again as a Lighthouse School to watch. 11 Savannah Chatham County High School students, 1 from each school, participated again with the Georgia Medical Society. So all the high school folks. The City of Savannah has an urban tree nursery grant, and Hubert Middle School participated in that project for them. Let's see, we can't forget those Fiddler Knots at Isle of Hope. I tell you, they are really racking up some honors over there. Let's give them a big round of applause. Hey, NASA will never be the same based on their involvement. And then, of course, STEM Academy at Bartlett, recognized again as one of the top middle school STEM programs in the nation. And then, of course, this week, Gadsden Elementary joins Godly in becoming a National Green Ribbon School. Woo! So Dr. Brian Evers is standing up, but I'll tell you, we couldn't have done it without operations. So operations, you need to stand up. Arnold Jackson. It's truly a collaboration. You know, they told us last year when Godly won, they were like, oh, well, you know, we don't typically, you know, go back to the same district. But hey, we did it. We did it. So we're very excited. You want to know what's going on, go over there and check them out. Then, of course, all of our partners. This is not probably just a small fraction of the partners that we work with all year long who work with us. Of course, you saw us over there at Pooler with Jane Vaden Thatcher. Just one of the many partnerships we have that really show that people invest in our community. They believe in what we're doing with children. They know that working with us will make the difference. And when you've got the kind of audience that we have every day that comes eager and willing and ready to learn, then you definitely want your business community out there with you. Of course, we started out the year over there at Butler Elementary School with the Comcast Essentials. And it was really, really cool. And we had the gold medalists there, and they handed out those computers to those children and families, changing lives every day. It was a wonderful celebration. And you could just see the joy when they found out that not just 5 of them were going to get a computer, but like the whole group. It was like so much energy in there. I was like done for the day. But they were so excited, and we're so excited to see them have that experience. So I'll tell you what else was really good this year. You know, anytime you roll out something new, you know, people just whine and lament and, oh, it's something else. But I will tell you, we took really good care of our folks. And we made lots of progress this year with balanced literacy and Eureka Math. Let's give all the principals and all the support staff who made that happen, give them a big round of applause. Those results are really showing up. I want to offer a special thanks to our central staff who went out and worked with parents and supported that work that was happening at the school level. They really did do what we need to do to move us to the next level. And then, of course, get ready to stand up. You know, we have all these lists. We want off the list, and we had people come off the list. So you got to stand up. Brock, accident turnaround eligible. Woo! Haven Elementary. Hodge Elementary. Butler Elementary. Southwest Middle. West Chatham Middle School. Windsor Forest Elementary, and Schumann Elementary.
Also, we're very proud to announce that the School of Liberal Studies at Savannah High School has now moved from being a priority school to a CSI Promise School. That means that they will continue to receive support that's been provided to sustain those improvements that they've made. Very proud of the School of Liberal Studies at Savannah High School.
You know, just what it speaks to is the fact that, first of all, progress itself is, you know, it all really depends on what you establish. We want to see people moving ahead. We couldn't do this without lots of work and lots of commitment and just working smarter too, and reaching out in ways we hadn't reached out before. So we want to give them all one other round of a big round of applause. You know, on our end, what really did make a difference also for us in the last 6 months, we had a change in governance. And you know what that means when there's a change. You don't know what you're going to get. But we have been very, very fortunate. We actually have a Team 10 right now. And I am delighted, pleased. I feel like we're moving in the right direction. We never got off course because we focused on the work. But it's really, really helpful when we have leadership that's committed to children and not necessarily, those other agendas. So I want you to give a big round of applause to this Board of Education who really supports us. We're excited about the direction that we're moving, and they're very supportive. That simply means that we are working together. We're having conversations perhaps that we haven't been able to have before, meaning everyone, and moving in the direction that we know is good for children. So when you see them, give them a thank you. And I'll tell you, as we move further along in the conversations about the budget, there is really a need to say thank you, because they have supported many of the things that we put forward going for the future. Of course, advanced ed, we've lived under that kind of shadow with advanced ed. Thanks to many of you who were able to participate in some of those conversations. We had our successful visit in 2019, March, and we believe from early indications that they certainly were very complimentary of the wide variety of people that they saw. They saw 52 people, and that was a lot of people to talk to. But also, they felt like we were moving based on those conversations in a direction that will allow us to continue to move as a district. So we're still waiting for those results, but we feel very positive about what will happen with them in the future. We learned a lot over that time period, just as you do with any kind of accreditation visit. You learn a lot. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about your organization. Still waiting for those results. So here's some key board actions that I think are important. If you are functioning as a principal, assistant principal, if you think you want to move to central office, or a superintendent, it's important to recognize what the role of the board is. It's also important for you to monitor board action. I will tell you these are some key actions that I think are really important for you to know. When we were dealing with advanced ed, we established an advanced ed compliance committee that met basically every week. I think we must have met like 28 times or somewhere in that, and meaning doing serious work. We definitely had an opportunity to look at lots of policies. Some of those, are still under construction or review, but certainly we had a good opportunity to look at board policy, and especially board governance policy, so we could establish firmly what's administration and what's policy and governance. We think that's helpful. We have a board member social media policy, and I'll tell you, we think that's a good thing. Because the board members, like us, represent the school district, and I think we're able to get that done successfully. Board members were very open to understanding the power of their words, and we're very excited that board members are, and have been for the most part, supporting us and also echoing the things that we want our community to know. They also supported our resolution for turnaround at Hubert Middle School, and we're happy about that because that means that we can support Hubert in a different way. And they also supported and approved the reconfiguration for the first official multi-school campus in our city. Multi-school campus officially over on the Groves campus. So big round of applause for that. And then they approved some hard work done by Human Resources and Professional Learning. We will finally, they approved a resolution to reestablish our own GTAP program. GTAP, hey, Ramon. Big round of applause for these people. That was a lot of work, and many of you came for that time period when we were had our visit by the PSC representatives so that we could get that done. So hopefully we can begin 2019-2020 with our Teach Savannah Learning Academy. That means those persons who are seeking alternative certification don't have to go to Oconee. I like Oconee. I think it's beautiful. I just don't want to drive there to take a course. And we think our folks will learn from many of you in this room. All right, transportation. Ms. Kegler and company, stand up as we talk about the cost savings that we anticipate. And all of our principals who've been a part of this conversation, where we hope to launch our hub system in 2021. We've been working and will continue to work on reducing those transportation costs, and we expect that we'll see some savings even this year. So let's give another big round of applause to that group for working really hard in that. And then, of course, the green screen. We hope the green screen will go away. The green screen on the computer terminal. Yes. Let's give Dave Feliciano and his team, that whole group, they have visited and talked with people and tried to negotiate and done everything they can so that green screen will go away. We've had it since when? 1990, a long time ago.
It survived barely Y2K.
Yes, survived Y2K and came around and survived another one. So we are excited about the fact that that is actually up and going. Big round of applause for those groups again. And then here's a key action that took place. We finally have been able to establish our Early Learning Center at East Broad, whose name will be East Broad through June 30th, and then it officially becomes the Henderson E. Formey Junior School. Big round of applause for Erica, Valerie, operations, everybody has been a part of this effort. We will finally, not only has the school been renamed, but also just having that early learning center there will make a difference. And we probably have some more news that we'll be able to share on that in the next few weeks, where we've really have formed some additional partnerships to make that work. But it'd be really cool to have a nice premier early learning center in the center of the city as well. So we're very excited about that. And if you know anything about the Formey family, they have certainly been trying for a very long time to have a building named after their father, and through the naming committee, that was the result. So this is another one, Kurt, where when we publish this information, I think like within a few days, we had 11,000 persons who supported this effort. So big round of applause around the Early Learning Center. And then who doesn't know about the Sassy Center? Oh my goodness, the Sassy Center is really sassy. But it really is about supporting students and families. And so we are excited about being able to establish this center at East Broad as well. Open and welcoming to students and families, lots of services located in that building. In fact, this week we had our administrative placement process there. No lines outside the building, people inside in the comfort of that space. Well run by Academic Affairs. Let's give them a big round of applause for that. Thank you, Erica, for hosting us. We appreciate it. Serving more than 400 people the first day and doing it efficiently. So thank you very much for taking care of our families. We do expect to have a renaming of this center officially. But if you haven't been there, we certainly want to encourage you to visit. It is really a one-stop shop. So in addition to having the Early Learning Center on one side, you'll have a side that deals with registration, a side that deals with health services, a pre-K assessment center. So a little bit of everything, GED services, really wonderful place for our students and families. Our hub system, which will begin with our choice programs and our high school students. When does it start? 2021. So if there's been lots of conversation about it, but we want you to know that we'll continue to keep you updated on it. We expect to realize some savings as a result of implementing that. And then East Blast. Hey, we're like really good at this. We've gotten it down. We've learned so much over this past year with our East Blast projects, and we are forever indebted to our community who believes in what we're able to do with those pennies. We also encourage everyone who's visiting the city to shop and to experience our city in a great way. because what it does is it allows us to use those pennies to support our building and our technology programs. First time ever on a building project, we had 0 audit findings for that project at A.B. Williams. 0 audit findings. So you all need to stand up for that one. 0. So how many of you have had an audit? Personal or otherwise? You don't want to have findings, and I will tell you this was a big achievement for us because we had worked really hard to examine that process and also make sure that everything was audited and came out well. So it was a big deal for us. Of course, if you drive down White Bluff Road, you see that work that's happening already at White Bluff. Yay, we're excited. And then in 2020, y'all, 2020, we will have our own district-owned stadium. Woo! At Highlands High School, with 2 to follow. 2 to follow. So you know, in the city, there's a lot of conversation about sharing of recreational activities, and we actually spend a lot of money every year renting facilities for some of those activities. And we're excited that we will not only own our own stadium, but also we'll have 2 stadiums coming behind it. It's so exciting. It's such an exciting time to be a part of Savannah Chatham County Public Schools. And I just want to offer a special thank you to our operations division for doing a great job with those projects. We really appreciate it. If you'll give them a big round of applause, I really would appreciate it. So guess what that says? On the East Blos 1, we did 7 new or replacement schools. East Blos 2, 9 new or replacement schools. East Blos 3, we're scheduled for 6 new or replacement schools. So we are ready for what? East Blos 4. All right. So what that means is we'll continue to do a great job and communicate not only with you, but also with others about how well we've done with these, the lessons we've learned from these, but also how well we will do with East Blos 4. Very excited, and we're looking forward to having the leadership of our operations team to help us get through that. Here's our multi-school campus map. Are you familiar with it? I know at least a few people. So we are taking on this project that we're very excited about. Most of the time you find these in rural communities, but actually I advanced the position that we actually have some multi-school, we have at least 2 multi-school campuses already. So if you think about, you've got Coastal Middle School, Marsh Point, and with just a little road between them, then you've got Islands. That's basically a multi-school campus. Then you've got Beach, Durin, and Hodge, with maybe a couple of roads between them. Really, it's a multi-school campus. So we are building a multi-school campus over the Groves area, and it will include Groves High School, Gould, and also Mercer. We are excited about it. Garden City is excited about it, and they are collaborating with us on it. So let's give all those principals a big round of applause. So, where are we now, and where are we going? There's only one team. That's all of us. And a few more people. Just a few more. It's only one goal. That's to improve student achievement. Anything else we do is all to support that. So it's one team, one goal, the way forward. So here's why I said I wanted you to make sure that you, when you had an opportunity to see board members, make sure you express thanks for them, because we put forward some things that during this budget period that are really different, but also very costly in many ways. We have managed our resources Well, but we've also, as most other school districts, experienced a decline in enrollment. So we need to adjust accordingly. But we also remain committed to our compensation plan. So we focused on the classroom. We wanted to invest in our people by making sure, as we learned yesterday and continue to learn, that the governor's plan for the $3,000 for teachers, people are taking very different approaches to that. Some people are not doing anything. Some people are doing some of the money. We decided that we would provide and plan for the $3,000 pay raise for all certificated staff. Big round of applause for the staff and the building. And there will be a 2% pay raise for classified staff, not just some members of the classified staff. So I want the cabinet and extended cabinet to stand because they have stood with us and worked through that. Let's give them a big round of applause. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. You have to work the numbers. You've got to work them, and the bottom line is we have 5,800 employees. The way the governor's plan is worked out is that, as you remember, it identifies certain employee groups. We have decided and worked in a way that allows for all eligible employees to receive a pay raise. All that money is not coming into us. So we're making some sacrifices in order to make that happen. Personally and philosophically, we don't think it's wise or helpful to just give a certain group of people dollars. Everyone works hard to make it all happen. It's one team. So we're working hard to make sure that we're able to do that. Now, what that does mean is we're going to have to do some trade-offs. It's only a limited amount of money. Talk about living on limited income. We live on limited income. So the bottom line is we're making some adjustments so that we can make sure that we are able to meet that compensation plan. One of the things that we did this year too was we made a commitment to increase our fund balance. Last year was the first time in probably 16 or more years that we balanced the budget without the use of fund balance. That created lots of ripple effects. You read all about it. Even including a millage rate increase. So that school finance course you took, it didn't tell you about that part. But we lived through last year, and this year we made a commitment that we would increase the fund balance. The fund balance means that you really have your rainy day fund, and it really is for the rainy day. And you don't build your budget based on that. That's an oversimplification. But cash flow is key. And what we did this year is we all learned a lot about school finance and how school finance works. The bottom line is you live based on tax collections. They only happen at certain times. So you run out of money before you run out of month. Y'all didn't get that? Okay. All right. So we're continuing to work on cash flow, and cash flow is key. So we did make some adjustments in the budget. I'm very proud of that finance group and the cabinet, so I'm going to ask them to stand one more time. I'm going to ask you to join me in thanking them for their work. Now, they will tell you that they got sick of me talking about it. So they finally just capitulated and did what we needed to do. So the opportunities do lie ahead for us every day to make a difference. When we go into our offices, when we walk into our classrooms, go into our community meetings, this is the question that we should be asking. What skills, what knowledge, and what abilities do you think the graduates of 2030 and beyond will need in order to thrive and survive? The bottom line is we only have them for maybe 6 hours a day, 5 days a week if we're lucky, and for less than half the year. If you think about it, your school day may be a little bit longer, but basically we have them 180 days, and that's if they come every day. So we have just that window of time to create or to do for them many of the things that we know they need for the future. And we're also, in this case, providing many, many more services than we've ever had to provide before. The bottom line is the law requires that we teach the children. But we know for them to be successful, we have to do a whole lot of other things for them to be ready to receive what we have to give. And that takes a lot. So it's important for us to recognize that everybody is a part of the team. From the time they walk out, get on that bus with that bus driver who says she knows she makes a difference. I'm gonna tell you, that gave me chills right there. To the school crossing guard, to the person who helps them get in the building, to the secretary, to the cafeteria manager, to the paraprofessional, to the person who is making sure that the space is clean. Everybody makes the difference. They're all part of the team. They may not be on the same pay schedule. They may not have the same level of education, but it takes everybody to make it work. And we never know when we walk in there what we might say or do that could change their lives, either this way or that way. So we really are in a very critical position. We don't have the luxury of saying to kids, if you aren't able to perform at this level, you can't come here. We don't have that luxury, and I don't think we want it. Because the best of the best can take them where they are and take them where they need to go. And that's what we have happening every day. We don't get to celebrate it, but we want to take the time to celebrate it. We're all different. We all have our own different approaches to things, but the bottom line is we are changing lives, and I want you never to forget it. There's one team, one goal, student achievement. If you're not in it for that, you're not in it. That's it. It's not to make a career. It's not to be on the front page. It is to improve student achievement. In your buildings, I'm counting on you to help everybody in that building know they make a difference. They shouldn't come in there saying, I'm just the custodian. I'm just the paraprofessional. I'm just the teacher. Everybody makes a difference. And that's how we want to celebrate achievement. Because everybody in there has a nickel in that dime. And we're expecting us to celebrate them. And I expect you to know how much I appreciate what you do. I couldn't do what I do if it weren't for you. It may sound hokey, but here's what I'll tell you. I can't find a better group of people who are committed to our kids. I can't find a better group. So if I get a little touchy when people start to criticize, it's because I know what you deal with. I know what happens when you walk in. I know about your high flyers. And I know about the ones we struggle to try to get in touch with. I know about the ones that take up a lot of your time and the ones that you wish would take up more of your time. That's students, parents, staff, that's everybody. And the fact that you are indeed every day a moving target. Somebody's looking for you. You can't get away. You're off from work. You're at the funeral and your phone is going off. Because you are such a critical part of it. So thank you so much for what you do every day. I think the kids, if they could, they would thank you differently, even when they're not at their best, but you keep hanging in there. So yes, we ought to get testy, or we ought to get touchy when people start to not fully appreciate what we do. But our job is to teach them, educate them so that they know what we're doing. And the fact is, we wouldn't have it any other way. We're making a difference. And I thank you for what you do. Thank you so much. All right.